Hey everyone, it's Hax. Today I'll be covering an exciting discovery I made which involves yet another faulty mechanic. The mechanic I'll be showing you is probably the most obscure one yet, but it meets the criteria for needing a fix nonetheless. Before we get into today's faulty mechanic, I'll start by recapping the ones I've described in my other videos. There have been 9 of these in total so far. Dashback, Doraki wall jump, wiggle out of tumble, and SDI are the 4 which suffer from the one-frame polling issue. SDI also needs a unique fix called the remainder fix in order to maximize the SDI magnitude. Dash out of crouch then has 2 of its own unique polling issues, which makes for 5 mechanics with polling issues in total. Then shield drop and 1.0 cardinal suffer from having a microscopic range. There's also a separate range issue called the corridor issue, which vertical throws suffer from. Finally, the option to turn Z into a jump button can be made software side. The new mechanic I'll be showing you today suffers from the corridor range issue. Since the corridor issue is probably the least well known of the issues I've listed, I'll quickly go over it. So far, I've shown that the corridor issue can cause people to perform accidental side throws, which is a huge problem in competitive play. The reason this happens is because the game developers seemingly forgot to give vertical throws the proper range. The range for these throws is thin enough for your analog stick to be pulled slightly to the side of it, which will result in an unwanted side throw. The reason it's justified to fix this on a competitive level is because the box is legal. Since a digital input can easily pinpoint a cardinal direction, the corridor issue doesn't exist for box users. This makes for a significant advantage. The way to transfer this advantage to GameCube controllers is to increase the vertical throw range to the 50-degree line, which is the range used for vertical tilts. This fixes the corridor issue. That brings us to today's mechanic, which is C-stick ledgefall. C-stick ledgefall has mostly gone unused due to the fact that the C-stick's location conflicts with pressing X or Y to jump directly afterward. However, with Z-jump gaining popularity as of late, C-stick ledgefall has newly found viability, since Z lets you jump with a separate finger. Unfortunately, C-stick ledgefall still suffers from an entirely separate issue. When you C-stick ledgefall, you may find that it's easy to accidentally perform an aerial directly afterward. This compromises C-stick ledgefall's viability because the aerial will often cause you to SD. As for why this issue exists, it has to do with the fact that C-stick ledgefall has a corridor range issue of its own. To be exact, when you C-stick ledgefall in a cardinal direction, shifting the C-stick into a quadrant will cause you to perform an aerial attack. This creates extreme risk because nudging your analog stick even slightly to the side can cause you to SD. The justification for changing C-stick ledgefall once again has to do with the box. Since a digital C-stick input doesn't run the risk of shifting to the side, C-stick ledgefall is entirely viable on this controller. In the interest of competitive fairness, what this means is that we have to adjust the threshold for performing an aerial attack after ledgefalling with the C-stick. This is done by changing the threshold to the 50-degree line. Once the threshold is improved, GameCube controller users will be able to C-stick ledgefall without running the usual risk. In case you're wondering what the significance of C-stick ledgefall is, I figured I'd explain how it compares to the analog stick ledgefall methods. There are 3 of these in total: back, slight down, and down forward. C-stick ledgefall is similar to the back and slight down methods in that it allows you to fall from the ledge without fast falling. However, C-stick ledgefall has the advantage of letting you retain control over your analog stick. This is notable for being able to point your analog stick forward. If your goal is to ledgefall, then double jump forward, for example, then C-stick ledgefall is the best method in the game. To be clear, this does not make the down forward ledgefall method obsolete for ledge dashing. This is because the down forward method has the advantage of letting you accumulate jump trajectory on the first ledgefall frame. If you ledgefall with the C-stick, on the other hand, then you have to keep your analog stick within the horizontal dead zone on the ledgefall frame so that you don't perform a ledge getup. This means that in theory, there are 2 ledgefall methods worth keeping in mind. Jamming the analog stick down and forward will always cause you to fast fall, but it's better for ensuring that you have jump trajectory by frame 2, which is the first possible jump frame. Then, the C-stick method has merit if you give it the fixed transition point and use it in conjunction with Z-jump. This method ensures that you don't fast fall, and it also allows you to point the analog stick forward in order to get the best jump trajectory. However, the C-stick method has the disadvantage of delaying your jump trajectory, since you have to keep the analog stick within the dead zone on frame 1. Now that C-stick ledgefall has been addressed, there are 10 mechanics in total that I endorse fixing for competitive play. I provided a link to updated 1.03 installation files which contain the C-stick ledgefall fix for anyone interested in trying it out. The last piece of exciting news that I have is that there is an 11th mechanic that I've kept secret this entire time. I wanted to make sure the rest of the list was complete before discussing this mechanic, which is one of the most impactful of them all. My next video will reveal this mechanic as well as the implications that fixing it comes with, so make sure to stay tuned for that video's release.